welcome back to Open, everyone. We're always inviting you to stay connected with us. That's right, by liking us on Facebook at Open BronxNet Television. And so, here you go. Whether you're starting out, right, or starting over, decorating a home, that is, can be very challenging. Trust me, I know. And so having to choose like colors, accessories, and different types of furniture, where does one even begin, right? So you ever wonder which one of those comes first in making those decisions? Well, we're gonna get some tips. We're gonna learn some tips from us for styling a home, along with some home decor for the spring. And we welcome Interior Architect Aishah Coleman. Hello and welcome.
Thank you. How are you?
I'm fabulous, and I'm going, it sounds so simple, right?
Mm-hmm.
But then when it's your home,
It's difficult.
it becomes very complicated.
Yes, it does.
And of course, it's because this is the space you have to live in.
Exactly.
But before we go into all of that, let's talk a little bit about how you became the interior architect that you are, because I love your story of the
Thank you.
Bronx and how you were going to rebuild the Bronx, and then it got rebuilt, and then you said, oh, okay.
I'm a Bronx native. I grew up on 167 in Walton Avenue back in the 70s, and I'm going to tell my age a little bit, when it was called the Burnt Out Bronx. And my path to elementary school was passing several abandoned buildings. And when I finally got to high school, I was great at art, and my art teacher said, you should study architecture when you go to college. And that's exactly what I did. I went to City College, so I stayed local. And I have a bachelor's degree in architecture. And at that time, that was in the late 80s, early 90s, so I'm really dating myself. And my goal was to rebuild my borough. This is where I lived. I was born and raised. I still live here. But they did it without me, because Dinkins came in office and he said, this is what we're going to do. So I decided to just say, you know what, let me take my skill sets, let me do a lot of community work. Started working for the City of New York Parks Department, rebuilding playgrounds. Started working with Housing Authority as a project manager, rebuilding a lot of the developments throughout the city. And then went back into the private sector until it was time for me to say, you know what, it's time to branch out on your own so that you can touch individual lives and make their lives better.
And so that's a big deal right there,
Yes, it
right?
is.
Because you said, okay, I'm going to go and earn my living, and which obviously meant I'm going to go work in the commercial market, right? But then you said it's not fulfilling as being in the presence of, I guess, somebody's home, or
Yes.
dealing with individuals
Exactly.
personally and making their dreams come true.
Yes.
So how do you balance the two?
I love what I do, and I'm still passionate about it. So the balance comes naturally. It's not a struggle for me. You know, you segregate, this is what I do for my business, this is my home personal life. Sometimes they do fuse together. It's life. People will call you at 8, 9 o'clock at night because they're having a dilemma, or they saw something great online and they want to share it with you at that time. But I still am passionate about what I do, and I always tell myself, when I get to a point where I don't like it anymore, I'll have to find something to do. But I've been in this industry for 25 years this year, so I'm still here.
It's lovely, and it's lovely that you make it affordable, right?
Yes,
for
I do.
those who are
Yes.
just really looking to, I guess, feel like their home should be in a magazine.
Exactly.
And you can do it at a budget.
You can do it at a budget. You don't have to break the budget. You can actually see these $1 million designs in some magazines and then scale it down to things that you can afford for yourself. There's always a duplicate that's less expensive than, instead of a $3,000 headboard, you can find one for $200 or $300 at a local furniture store that's very similar to what you see in the magazines. And our job is to come in, understand the client, who they are, their lifestyles, who's using the space, what they're using the space for, and come up with a design concept that will fit their lifestyles and their needs. Because what I always tell my clients is, I can create a beautiful home for you, but at the end of the day, when I leave, you still have to live here. And I want to make sure that the space that you live in is what you wanted.
So I know we had some images. I wonder if we could show some of the images of some of the residential work
Yes.
she's done, just so that you guys can get an idea of what we're referring to. So what we're looking at right now is a kitchen.
That was a kitchen remodel we did in Brooklyn on Cotillion Road. That pass-through was actually a solid wall. And we wanted to create an actual peninsula where it was completely
So
open
you
to the
opened up that
dining room.
wall.
Yes, but we actually had a plumbing pipe down the wall, so we had to just create a pass-through. But it was, we created more storage space for them. We created a U-shaped kitchen that gave them additional corner storage, new appliances, new flooring, painting, and lighting.
It's beautiful. The stunning. It's stunning. The lighting makes a huge difference. And, do we have anything else? Oh, look at this.
This is for one of my local clients, Father Ricardo, at the Catholic Rectory over here on Webb Avenue, actually right across the reservoir from here. He was a newly ordained priest, and they wanted to do something special for him to give him a nice room that's comfortable for him, and that's what we have here.
I kind of almost feel like I'm in Italy, right?
This is for a client of mine here on Harmony Avenue. Same thing. We actually was a gut renovation of the whole home, but we started with the kitchen. Same thing. We opened up the wall to give them access from the dining room into the kitchen.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Lovely.
Thank you.
Lovely. So, okay, so that's like real, or like hardcore
Yes.
contracting.
Yeah, those were, except for Father Ricardo's, those were really gut renovations where we rebuilt walls and took walls out.
So now with decorating, especially with the spring coming, we hope. I think
We had a taste of it
I
Wednesday.
know. I was like, can you just stay
Exactly,
a
a little longer.
How about permanently?
Yes.
Okay, so are there any like spring colors that are this year's fashionable colors?
Green is really hot right now. Not all shades of green, but more on the pastel sides. Green is very serene and neutral. It gives a calming effect in your space. And you don't have to necessarily paint your walls green, but you can add green decor, whether it's in the bedding, if it's throw pillows, if it's a throw, maybe an area rug, candles. So you can always bring in specks of spring or the hottest color trends, but you don't have to break the bank doing it. So it's always little things that you can do to bring it into your home to follow what's hot.
So that brings me to the question we originated this whole segment with, and that is, what comes first? How do you decide? Let's say, okay, so I'm going to redo this entire room. Does the color of the wall come before the furniture, or how do you do that?
So when I meet with the client, the first thing we do is we come see their space. We look at natural light, how much natural light they have coming in, because that's going to determine the type of lighting fixtures and features that we're going to provide. We look at their space, their traffic pattern, how they move about their space. We also talk about what they intend to do in that space, if it's a living room, if it's going to be a multifunction living room where the children are going to be doing homework and playing games, streaming movies, because that helps determine the design concept. And then if they have furniture, are they going to keep their existing furniture, or are they going to buy new furniture? A lot of times clients will like to keep their existing furniture if it's only a couple of years old. Then the color schemes then starts to manifest after we just determine what is staying and what's going.
So for someone watching right now, what would you like to leave them with this possibility, right? And I say this only because me personally, I'm like, oh yeah, income tax check. All right,
Yes.
time to redo a room, or
Exactly.
something.
I always tell my clients, do your homework, because your budget is going to determine what you can do and what you can't do. And you have to be realistic about your budget and how much you want to spend, and how much work do you want us, the designer, to do. How much work do you want them to do? We can create a design package for you, and then they can do it themselves, or you can hire us to do the work for you.
Awesome. So
Yes.
for you, if they wanted to seek your services, where would they go?
They can give us a call at 347-848-1939, or they can contact us on our website, which is www.acdesigndevelopmentcorp.com.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Aishah.
It's a pleasure.
Oh, likewise.
Thank you.
And you guys, once again, for consultation or services from Aishah Coleman regarding interior design or decorating services, and that's for residential and commercial and architectural, right? She's got everything. It's like a nice one-stop shop.
Exactly.
You can go to acdevelopmentdesigncorp.com. That's
Design Development Corp.
Okay, acdesigndevelopmentcorp.com.
Yes.
acdesigndevelopmentcorp.com. All right, we have to take a quick break, but coming up, we get a taste of this year's Mama's Hip Hop Kitchen event. That's Volume 11. You won't want to miss. Stay there.